Hey guys, Taryn and Emily again. We hope you've enjoyed learning all about Canopy Insights and Canopy Workflow. Great news! We have one more amazing feature to tell you all about Canopy Time and Billing. Time is literally money, and you can manage and track them both with Canopy. Wouldn't it be amazing to have easy access to up to date time and billing information for your entire firm, along with a more streamlined invoicing process? Canopy Time and Billing can give you just that, allowing your entire team to decrease errors and increase efficiency, even during your busiest seasons. Boy, we sure have scaled a lot of mountains together today. Let's conquer one last mountain and master time and billing. We all know time flies. Working at a busy firm, you probably realize billing and payments do too. Let Canopy's time and billing be your firm's air traffic controller. Time and billing in Canopy lets you account for your firm's efforts. Accounting for your time is just as important as accounting for your client's money. You can also manage and track time, budget and track time spent on specific projects, and use that data to make better business decisions. Most importantly, you can get paid faster. Make it easier on your clients and yourself by invoicing and processing payments right within Canopy. There are a lot of moving pieces in time and billing, and most of them will ultimately feed into your invoice creation. Let's take a quick look at what an invoice in Canopy is all about. In Canopy, you can bill your clients in two different ways, by service and by hour. When creating a line item for a service, by selecting one of your firm's predetermined service items, not only will your invoice show your client what you're billing them for, but it will also auto-populate things like the description and rate. No need to memorize the details of your firm's long list of services. And no more worrying that your employees won't bill consistently or correctly. Billing by the hour has also never been easier. Just hit Add Time and Expenses on your invoice to see every unbilled time entry in Canopy for this specific client. Even better, if the employee logging the time chose a service when creating the time entry, you still get the benefit of those rates and descriptions pulling into the invoice automatically. With customization options, controlling what your client sees on their end is as easy as pie. Pie. You can choose how to send invoices and record payment with the click of a button. Even better, if you enroll in Canopy Pay, you can enable your clients to pay directly through their client portal, saving you from having to chase down payment. The easier it is for clients to pay you, the quicker you'll get those payments, and that is nothing to scoff at. Now that you've gotten a sneak peek of just how easy it is to invoice your clients in Canopy, you might want to jump right in and get started. But before you do, there are some things to think about first. Let's get set up for success with billing settings.
Making sure your account is set up for success before you let your employees loose with timers and invoices will ensure that your firm's billing process is what you want it to be from the get-go. When all of the pieces are in the right place, you don't have to waste precious time worrying. Wouldn't you rather focus on the important stuff, like the actual work you're billing all of your clients for? Let's jump into Canopy and take a look. If we click on our profile icon at the bottom left of the screen, and choose Settings, we can head into our billing settings and review some things to consider before you start tracking time and creating invoices in Canopy. Think about whether you'd prefer for line items to be grouped together by service item or listed out separately. By grouping line items together by service, invoices will have a more streamlined appearance and will be easy for your clients to read, no matter how many time entries are added to the invoice. Your invoice can be customized to show the specific columns you want, giving you complete control over the finished product. Things like service, rate, assignee, and discount can be added or removed at the click of a button. In addition to creating invoices and managing them from Canopy, you can also connect Canopy payments with our integrated payment provider, collect credit card and ACH payments, pass on credit card fees with surcharging, and more. We know that your firm is unique, and the services you offer are too. Service items in Canopy are a blank canvas. So just like Bob Ross, you can make your own happy little trees or happy little service items. This lets you get ultra specific to match your firm's operations. Service items let you have things like a description, rate and rate type, and even a tax rate populate automatically in your invoices, making for more efficient and consistent billing from start to finish. While service rates can determine a standard rate for all of the services your firm provides, what happens if that rate isn't quite so standard? Mallory, who's more senior with more experience under her belt, may command a higher rate of pay than Michelle, who's fresh out of school. With the ability to input custom rates per user, and even per user per service, you have the flexibility to make sure that every invoice is accurate every time, without all the extra fuss. We'll take an even closer look at how these settings affect your invoices in just a bit.
The next step to time and billing mastery is understanding how to have your team track their time with time entries. Once your billing settings are all set up, you can allow your team to start tracking their time, safe in the knowledge that things like user rates will apply to that time automatically, saving you and your firm time in the long run. But how do our employees even get their time into the system? Don't worry. Tracking time in Canopy is quick and easy. No infinity gauntlet needed here. Just a snap of your regular human fingers is all it takes. There are two main ways that time can be tracked in Canopy. First, time can be manually added. Adding a time entry manually is a quick way to input time that may have been tracked outside of Canopy. Secondly, Canopy has built-in timers that make it effortless for your firm members to track time with just a few clicks, no matter where they are in Canopy or what they're working on. In Canopy, timers can be started in two different ways, depending on if you want that time to be tied to a workflow task. If the work you're doing is related to a task, do yourself a favor and start the timer there. This will allow related information to pre-populate in the timer, saving you from having to hunt for the client or the task when finalizing your time entry. Here's a great best practice for you. You can even start timers on subtasks instead of on the parent task, which we definitely recommend. This gives you the most data to work with when reporting on your team's efficiency. If the work isn't affiliated with a task, you can start a timer by clicking on the time icon in the global navigation bar. From there, select Start New Timer, and that's it. Since the global navigation bar is always visible, no matter where you are in Canopy, you can always quickly and easily start a timer, no matter what you're working on. With all tracked time, you will have the option to specify a service item. Remember, setting up service items in your billing settings makes for easier, more consistent billing, because linking a service item to a time entry allows for certain information to automatically populate into your invoices, as well as letting the system group line items to ensure that your invoices look the way you want them to. After the members of your firm have tracked their time, you may be wondering where that time went and where you can see it. Let's take a look at how you can review tracked time.
When you click on the time icon on the global navigation bar in Canopy, you can choose time entries in the pop-out menu to get to the time entries list. At the top of the page, you'll see some handy statistics about your firm's tracked time. There's also a My Timers pane that will show any active timers you haven't saved yet, along with a button to start a new timer if you need to. Scrolling further down, you'll see the saved time list. If you're familiar with the client list or the tasks list in Canopy, this should look pretty familiar to you, and it has some things in common with those lists. You can filter any of the existing views using the column headers, just like you might filter the client list. And users can even save filtered views if there's one they'd like to use consistently. Here's another best practice for you. Do you want an easy way for the members of your team to see their own time entries all in one place? They can use the team member column to filter the time entries list down to just their entries by entering their own name, and then they can save that filtered list view to make it easy to get back to whenever they want to review their time. While the time entries page is perfect if you need to see all of your firm's time entries together, a great place to see client-specific time entries is on the client record. Let's click on the client icon in the global navigation bar and then search for our client Brooke bar to get to her client record. Once we click into the Time Entries tab, we can see every time entry for Brooke all in one place. Another place we can view time is in the WIP report, or Work in Progress report. We can navigate there by clicking on the time icon and then choosing WIP report. The WIP report shows unbilled time by client, and it can also be sorted further if needed. Here we can link time to new invoices or to existing invoices. This is the best place to see what unbilled time is outstanding for each client and to ensure that you're collecting payment and generating revenue for all of the billable time that your team works.
We mentioned earlier that there are two main billing methods in Canopy: billing hourly and billing by service. Let's talk a little bit more about both of those options. Hourly billing is helpful for one-time projects or consultations with unclear scopes, or for ongoing services where workloads may vary. Benefits of billing by the hour include flexibility for adjustments based on actual time spent, transparency for clients to see how their money is used, and a reduced risk of underestimating project time. When billing by the hour, all you need to do is run a timer or manually add a time entry, and then you can review that time in the WIP report. From the WIP report, you can add all of the relevant time entries to an invoice with just a few clicks, and boom, you're set to send that invoice to your client and get paid. Fixed rate billing, or billing by service, is ideal for routine tasks like tax preparation or bookkeeping. Benefits of fixed rate billing include client satisfaction from knowing costs up front, incentives for efficiency within your firm, and a simplified billing process. After you set up and customize your firm's service items in billing settings, which we took a look at earlier, you're ready to go. You can use the Global Plus button to create a new invoice, and then all you have to do is use the drop-down to add the service items you're billing the client for. If you have any quantity or rate adjustments to make, you can do so, and then your invoice is ready to send. How easy was that? While Canopy allows you to pull all of your firm's time entries into your invoices, that's not the only benefit of invoicing in Canopy, not by a long shot. Invoicing through Canopy streamlines the payment process by allowing you to request payments and invoice in the same platform you use to track your work, saving time and reducing errors. You can customize invoices to suit your firm's needs and choose when and how to invoice your clients. Best of all, your clients will never have to ask, "Hey, where's that invoice?" ever again. That's because the invoices you create in Canopy can be easily accessed by clients via their client portal. With automated invoice reminders, Canopy can even send clients an email reminder before, on, or after the invoice due date so that you don't have to. No more chasing clients down to get paid. That's cause for celebration in my book.
All right, let's create an invoice and see how all of the pieces of time and billing come together. We'll start by creating a brand new invoice for our client, Brooke Barr. Remember how we specified exactly which columns we wanted to appear in an invoice in our billing settings? We can see that anything we didn't want the client to see is marked with a crossed out eye icon. We are still able to see and update that information, but we know that our clients won't see anything we don't want them to. We talked about hourly billing earlier, and we're going to see it in action here. Let's pull in some time entries. All we need to do is click plus add time and expenses, and just like that, we'll see every unbilled time entry currently affiliated with Brooke. From here, we can choose to pull in just one time entry, a few, or even all of them, whatever we need. I might sound like a broken record at this point, but remember all those times we mentioned how important service items are? Well, now we get to see the magic in action. We can see that for all the time entries we added to this invoice, not only is the service item linked, thanks original employee who logged this time, we can also see that things like the description and rate type have automatically populated for the service item. Double thanks! You may have noticed that we added several time entries to this invoice, but we're only seeing 2 line items. Thanks to setting up our invoices to be grouped, the system uses our service items to group like line items together, keeping this invoice streamlined and simple. Now, in this case, choosing the grouped option gave us 2 line items for the 2 distinct services, but what if we wanted to make this invoice even simpler for our client, just a description and a price? We can do that by scrolling down and utilizing the single line invoice option. By toggling it on, we can simplify the client experience even further, but we don't lose any of the details or nuance when we look at the invoice from our end. Once we're happy with this invoice, we can preview it and bask in the knowledge that yes, this amazing invoice was created that quickly and easily. Now all we need to do is send it off to the client and let those sweet, sweet payments trickle in.
We've learned what an invoice is, how to master our billing settings, track time, and then how to bill that time like a pro. Let's widen our scope to go even further, getting insights on all of that incredible billing data that's just ripe for the picking.
If you have Canopy Pro, you can use insight-specific pre-built billing live boards to dig even deeper into your firm's billing data in real time. Let's take a closer look at some of these insights reporting options now that you're a time and billing expert. The pre-built billing live board shows you revenue billed by your firm in real time and also lets you break the data down by service, by client, and by team member. If you scroll down to the year-over-year monthly billed revenue chart, you can also get big picture data, seeing how your firm is performing year over year. With the service item analysis live board, you can see just what your firm is charging per service based on hours billed or billed amounts, because write-ups and write-downs happen. While you might have an established rate, being able to see the actual charges broken down by service and team member can be incredibly informative. Check on team member production, including realization, adjustments, and average build rate in the team member production analysis live board. These reports give you better insight on how best to assign your team members, as well as how to coach them. Always know where you stand with each client, employee, and service item, thanks to the Billing Realization and Client Profitability Live Board. This set of reports makes it easy to see at a glance just where you're below realization. No more sifting and analyzing. Just jump straight to problem solving without disturbing the flow of things that are going well.
All in all, there is a lot that goes into billing for your firm. So there are a lot of moving pieces for time and billing in Canopy. While taking the time to set up your account for success may seem like a large time investment, the important thing to remember is that if an investment is made right, you get a great return. By investing that time up front, your firm will reap the rewards: better time management, streamlined billing practices, and being secure in the knowledge that you're free to focus on what really matters: your practice. And what's better than that?